Okay, my friends, let us suppose that you live on a small island that is cut off from everything, okay? And every week, I deliver all the resources that you need to your island. You've got a group, a community of people, a couple hundred or a couple thousand people, and every week I deliver everything that you need. Your building supplies, the supplies to build roads, the automobiles, your transportation, your infrastructure supplies, the generators that you need for your electricity, all of this stuff, your food, I deliver everything that you need, okay? And in return, you manufacture some little thing for me and you give it to me, and I make a good profit off of this, okay? Now, time goes on and new generations of people are coming, okay? People are having babies and the babies are born into this system where I am delivering all the goods and everything that you need every week, all the food, all the stuff that you need, all right? Now time goes by and I get it in my head that I want you to do something else. And so I say, okay, this is what I want you to do, now do it. And you guys all say, no, we're not gonna do it that way. And in fact, we're not liking how this is going down, okay? We're not liking the way things are going. I say, oh yeah? Well then, I'm going to cut off all of your building supplies and you'll just be living in little huts with holes in the roof and rain and mud and everything. Huh? What do you think about that? And the people will say, okay, well, yeah, that sucks, but they'll make do. They'll make do. That's what humans do, okay? So every week I keep delivering stuff except the building supplies. But then I notice, okay, they're not doing what I'm wanting them to because they're just now living multiple families in the house and they're just making do like humans do. So I say, okay, well, I'm going to issue a tax on all your supplies now. So everything that I bring to the island for you, now you have to pay me in some form of currency that we'll create. I'm going to tax it all. And people say, what? Be really irritated with that. And some of them will even revolt and might say, hey, you know, we think that you're trying to manipulate us. Some of them might wake up, yeah, and say, look, we got to band together. This is bullshit. People are trying to manipulate us. There's a hidden secret agenda going on, okay? Little groups are getting together on the island and stuff. But still, every week, I'm delivering the supplies, okay? Now, the time comes when I say, okay, enough is enough. You will do what I say you will do. And for that, what would I do? What supply would I cut off that would bring you to your knees? Not your building supplies, not your gas, not your anything, your food. If I stop delivering your food, very quickly you will do exactly what I say you will do. And you will do whatever I say you'll do in order to get your food. So if I wanted to totally, ruthlessly control the island and the people on the island, I would create some kind of a system that had like a card, some kind of maybe like a rationing card. And if we had the technology, I would do it digitally. Yes, and I would call this your digital ID, your digital ration card. Yes? And so long as you did everything that I wanted to across all the spectrums, technology and transportation and building, all of that, and socialness and political views, as long as you did everything that I wanted in the correct manner I wanted it, then you would get your points for the rationing. And okay, now you are deserving of the food. It's the food that would control everything. Nothing else. Humans can make do with anything else gone but food. It has been this way since the beginning of history, the beginning of humankind. And it is no different now, my friends. Do you know what your ancestors were, what their profession was? Do you think that you have a farmer in your ancestry? Well, I can tell you, you absolutely guaranteed have farming in your ancestry. All of us do, at some point. because that's the most human of all endeavors. That's the thing that we all need the most. You have to eat. And it is only in the last 50 to 100 years, which is just a blink of an eye in the scale of human time span. It is only in that last 50 to 100 years that people have become divorced from their food production. The one thing we need the most. It doesn't matter if accountants stop going to work or if manufacturers and steel workers stop going to work. Okay, yeah, that all sucks. No more automobiles, no more. The whole system comes down. That all would suck. But food, do you understand what I'm saying? If that stops, everything stops. That is when it will get tribal immediately. Now, because we've become so divorced from our food production, this has now become the #1 issue of our time, in my opinion. I made a video in July last year where I said, I predict food shortages are coming. Now, I didn't know at the time exactly what or why or the specifics on all of this or the exact chain of events, but I was just getting the feeling. Yes, the ether was saturated with this kind of feeling, this knowledge that, yes, the supply of food is about to be weaponized against us. And now, just the other day, the President of the United States said the words, food shortages. There will come a time soon when you simply can't afford to eat what you want to eat. Meats are going to be ridiculous. All of the things that now are just freely there, freely available, and they have been our whole life, yeah? Because you were born into that island system that I described in the beginning. You were born into that. That's all that you know. Even though that is absolutely a freak occurrence in the history of humankind. You see, I can tell that it is coming. It's coming. All of what's happening right now in the world stage, it's all just setting things up. Okay? They tried. It's all about the digital ID. It's all about this. And they tried with the health crisis thing, and they tried to implement the health pass, the digital ID and all of this. And there was a lot of pushback. They were, no, we're not going to have this. Okay? So they were like, oh yeah, well, we tried. But they don't just shrug their shoulders and then move on. Well, I guess we can't enslave humanity then. No. They're going to go, okay, you don't want to play ball that way? Well, you will play ball when we take your food away. And so it's going to be implemented as a ration card, a digital ration card. That will be coming. Listen for that. Now, what can we do what's the #1 way to combat all of this? Well, for one, it's to awaken. Awaken to our true nature, which is always free, always pure, always present, always harmonious. It is all that is. It is the ultimate vibration, the highest frequency of pure light. And if what I just said doesn't make sense to you, if it doesn't resonate with you, then just keep going. Keep searching. Keep looking for it. You will find it. But on a practical, in this world level, the #1 thing we can do to fight against all of this is to become more self-reliant. You don't have to be self-reliant in everything. Just start in certain things. #1, grow your food. Begin growing something. Okay? I just started the other channel, Garden Like a Viking, where I will be conveying all my knowledge. It took me years to understand this. Okay, and I've done it on all different kinds of scales, growing. And so I'm going to give you the condensed versions of all the best techniques to grow your own food and regenerate the land in the process. There's no excuse. Unless now, if you're not growing something in 2022, then you're just blind, willful ignorance. You're just, nah, I don't see it coming. Nah, I don't see it. Willful ignorance, okay? Because I've been screaming in your face. Well, not screaming, but I've been talking about it for some time. Many people have been talking about this. And this is what humans do. We grow our food. So to ensure food security in 2022, begin growing calories. Learn the techniques. Learn how to store the things. All right? Begin, I suggest, if you're fresh, new, begin with potatoes. A lot of calories for the amount of effort. And you can grow them in a very confined space. The video, maybe I'll link to it here on my other channel, is about you can grow them just in the bag of soil that the soil comes in. You can just cut the top off, roll it down, stick the potatoes 2/3 the way down the bag, poke holes in the bottom, water it once a week, and you will get 20 pounds, or not 20 pounds, but you will get 10 pounds of potatoes off of that, okay? I've gotten loads from that very same method. You can also just go and get compost and put it in big black trash bags, roll the trash bag down, poke a few holes in it, and place the potatoes in it. These are the kind of things that we have to be doing. Growing food. Next, I would recommend, if you have a little bit of space, I would recommend beans. Beans for drying. Very high in fiber and calories and nourishment. This is important, okay? So if you have a considerable amount of space, this year grow the Three Sisters garden, all right? I'll be making videos about it on my other channel, but you can look it up, Three Sisters. It's corn, beans, and squash. Corn for drying, so corn that you grind into cornmeal, which I'll show you all about how to do all of that on the other channel. So corn, like painted mountain corn or glass gem corn, those are good ones. We call them Indian corn, and that's what we want. That kind of corn, and then beans for drying. We grow the beans for drying up the corn stalks, all right? Like a good mother's Stallard bean or a succotash bean or an Anasazi bean. These are all good varieties. And you just let the corn and the beans grow and die as is. And then you come and get them in the fall. And the squash, I recommend Tahitian melon squash. That's the best. Man, it's a vigorous grower. Big old squash. And they're super sweet, super delicious, and they last all year in the basement. I've still got a load of them that are really firm and fresh and sweet and delicious. But my favorite is potatoes. Oh my Lord, yes. So, okay, my friends, I just wanted to make this again to check in with anyone that is watching and recommend to keep your eyes open, to understand what is coming, and remember the parable that I gave you in the beginning. If I really wanted to control the population on the island, I would do it through the food. And that's what's coming.